chance.
Look at your forecast. Let's bring in weather specialist Noor Rafat. Hey, Noor.
Hey, thanks very much, Megan. Today was all about counting some small wins. A few sunny breaks here and there around the GTHA earlier in the day. Slightly warmer conditions than yesterday. 14 degrees just now outside the Toronto airport, and there might be some areas in Toronto that are seeing some rain right around now. Now, there are communities that are already at temperatures where we'd like to be. 21 in Muskoka, 19 Peterborough and Bancroft. It was close to that range, around 20 or 21 for that high on Friday in Toronto, and of course things started coming down. You saw that rain rolling in Saturday. Some more rain in the forecast here, but not necessarily for the GTHA and for the east. It's more so going to be in the next few hours in southwestern Ontario. Also, though, starting to see the winds pick up for pretty much everyone, and those winds have been gusting at some windy rates from the northeast, so you're going to start to see a shift in those temperatures as well when that cooler air settles in tomorrow. Temperatures dropping by a few degrees along with that cloud cover expected. So this evening, as I mentioned, pockets of heavy rain through southwestern Ontario all the way through the overnight. Tomorrow morning, some sunny breaks around Muskoka, Peterborough, Bancroft, North Bay, but the rain rolls in around that dinner hour, and it continues taking you right through your Tuesday into an on and off pattern. So it's not going to be a washout, but it'll certainly be a time when you'll see the rain linger for several days in many communities in Ontario. Starting to get a bit windy tonight into Toronto, and by tomorrow, gusting winds up to 50 kilometers per hour from the east-northeast. Your high 13 degrees expected. Megan?
All right. Thanks so much, Noor. We're joined now on the desk by weather specialist Noor Rafat. Hello, Noor. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Nice to be with you, Megan.
Very much so. And we've had a couple rainy days for a lot of people across the region. I mean, is that expected to continue?
Yeah, $1 million question, Megan. I think a lot of us are tired of the soggy weather. Every year we say April showers. They extend into May, sometimes into June. That's how it goes. The good news is you will get a break from that rain, but it is going to stick around just for the next little while. I'll explain why. Well, expecting some more rain in Toronto tomorrow, cooler conditions as well. We're down to a high of 14 degrees. Your average during this time of year, 17. And it's going to feel cooler under that cloud cover with the rain and with the gusting winds from the east-northeast, gusting up to 45, maybe 50 kilometers per hour. So not the nicest of days after what we saw on Friday. Now, some communities, rain and cold weather is not their concern right now, and we're looking at those that fall under this ridge that's been unfolding in the prairies and tracking east. That's where we find the warmest air across the country right now. We're into the 30s for the high in southeastern Manitoba. It is trickling into parts of Ontario as well, northern Ontario. Not going to get that warm in southern Ontario, eastern Ontario in the next few days, but temperatures will recover gradually heading towards the weekend after that cooler air brings those temperatures down in the very near future. Now you can see the system, it's lingering here. The thing about the jet stream, it helps move systems from west to east out of the province, but when that's not at play, well, the system is stagnant. It's sticking around for the next little while, and that's why you're seeing the rain, the cloud cover linger for several days. That includes tomorrow, a dry start to the day for most, as I mentioned, sunnier as you head to the north, but as you head into that afternoon commute or that dinner hour even, you'll start to see those pockets of heavy rain push in southern Ontario, cottage country in the east. Tuesday, the rain continues, and with a risk of thunderstorms potentially as well, heading into communities surrounding the lakes. Wednesday, rain continues yet again. It's not going to be a washout for the entirety of those 3 days. There will be some breaks in between that rain, but there are some communities like potentially Windsor, maybe Fort Erie, that could see some heavy pockets of rain at a constant rate of a few hours, and that could mean heavier than most when it comes to those rainfall totals. So we'll be on the lookout about just how much rain some of these communities get. 14 degrees expected for Tuesday, fog in Toronto, but also some rain. And then you've got some showers on Wednesday. Heading into Thursday, Friday, you'll start to see that those drier conditions move in, the sunnier skies start to pop in, but the temperatures climbing on Saturday, 18 degrees, back down to cooler conditions on Sunday. Hopefully some of that sunshine will help warm you up. Hey, thanks very much, Megan. Well, it may not be the best day out there to spend outside, but a lot to be thankful for today in the Toronto region. First, the very mild temperatures that we're looking at this evening, 13 degrees outside the Toronto airport. It's been dry in some parts of the GTHA. That's also something that perhaps you want to celebrate. And then you're looking outside and seeing the grass getting greener, the buds on the trees. That's all good news, despite the fact that maybe we didn't get as warm as you'd like, considering it was 20 degrees on Friday, 15 today in Toronto, below average. 20s, though, into Peterborough, Trenton, 21 in Parry Sound. Soon enough, we will get there, just not in the next few hours at that. There's been a lot of wind at play from the north today, so it might have felt cooler, especially if you were standing in a shady area under that cloud cover as well. Rain as well. Also making these conditions cooler. That rain continues into this evening, mostly around southwestern Ontario. That's where we're seeing a potential for active weather. So a risk of thunderstorms over there heading into the overnight. And then the risk of thunderstorms extends into southern Ontario by tomorrow. It's a dry start to the day, even sunny around areas like Muskoka, Bancroft, Sudbury as well. But as the day progresses, here comes those pockets of heavy rain, potentially, as I mentioned, thunderstorms. And you'll see that roll into the Toronto region, potentially around the dinner hour and continuing into your evening. Tuesday, more of that rain expected. So it's a dry night overnight tonight, quite breezy. And tomorrow you'll start to see those winds pick up even more and feel a difference when it comes to the temperature. Your high only at 14 degrees, gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour. A risk of thunderstorms could be possible, but also heavy rain heading into your evening. Megan?
All right. Thanks so much, Noor. And we're joined now on the desk by weather specialist Noor Rafat. Happy Sunday evening, Noor.
Happy Sunday evening, Megan. Getting ready for the start of a new work week.
A new work week. We've had some wetter conditions. Is that going to continue into our next work week?
Yes, unfortunately, to give you the short answer, it will, Megan, but not for the entirety of the work week. This is a time where I think it's important to celebrate the rain, because unfortunately, you're going to get a lot more of it in the next few days. Let's take a look. Well, the wet weather is coming tomorrow in Toronto. Not going to be a washout. It's a dry start to your day. You might even see some sunny breaks earlier in the day. And then the rain starts to get heavy around the dinner hour, pushing into the late evening as well. There could be a risk of thunderstorms associated with some of these bands as well. And looking at windy conditions, getting windier as the evening progresses. You're already feeling a difference in temperature with that high only at 14 degrees. A hard adjustment from the 20 degrees you were seeing earlier on Friday. But 20 degrees is one thing, 30 degrees is another, and that's what the prairies got to experience this weekend. Still looking at some of those conditions extending into parts of the prairies tomorrow. There's that ridge in the jet stream, all of the warm air flowing to the north in areas where it's not usually situated. As the ridge shifts east, so too does the warm air. So near 30 degrees, and actually we are seeing 30-degree highs in southeastern Manitoba, parts of northwestern Ontario getting a taste of these warm-ups. Perhaps not as warm in southern Ontario, and we may not see 30 degrees in the next 7 days, but temperatures will bounce back to some nice levels, upper teens, low 20s for some, after a brief cool down by the middle of the week. For now, though, we have to deal with this guy. It's a low pressure system that hasn't moved much for the last little bit. The jet stream helps move those systems from west to east out of the province. That's not at play right here, and you can see because of that the system will remain stagnant for the next little while, expected to be chilling into parts of the United States over the next little bit and sending some of those bands of rain into this side of the country over the next few days. So here it is tomorrow. Risk of thunderstorms, as I mentioned, associated with some of these pockets. Tuesday, heavy rain also expected, although in Toronto, much of your day could be dry with some sunny breaks. Not the case as you head towards Tweed, Bancroft, Peterborough, also seeing some heavy rain over there heading into your Wednesday. Now, because this is a bit different for many communities in Ontario, the rainfall accumulation could vary depending on where you're situated, and we could see near 60 millimeters of rain into areas like Fort Erie, maybe into Windsor as well, or parts of southwestern Ontario. Still hard to say, and of course, if those thunderstorms do come into play, it is hard to predict the amount of rain that could come out of a system like that. Newmarket 18 degrees, 18 in Barrie, 11 cool degrees in Hamilton with some rain. It's back up to 15, which is not good enough on Tuesday, 16 on Wednesday with some showers, and here is that cooler air, a cool start to your morning Thursday, Friday as well. Saturday and Sunday looking spectacular though. Enjoy that sunshine while it lasts.